What food do you swear people only pretend to like? The food my nephew makes. It's too salty and it's always made out of Play-Doh. Anything that's classified as a local delicacy. There's usually a reason it's remained local. And yes, I am Scandinavian, how'd you guess? I know this game, it's called Let's See What We Can Get the Foreigner to Put in His Mouth. If I've learned anything in this thread, it's that I'm clearly uncultured. I've got no idea what 70% of these foods are. Judging by some quick googling, the answer is usually fish. Lutefisk. I only know this from King of the Hill. It was the man with the terrible smell. Some of the Jell-O salads out there. Green Jell-O with carrots and sometimes raisins is an abomination. Also, whatever the heck my mom used to make with cottage cheese and orange Jell-O. My family had this weird notion that if you put healthy stuff in Jell-O, that it was a side dish and not a dessert. Nope, you just ruined two foods by making unnatural combinations with them. Mom never did come across a Jell-O recipe that she thought was a bad idea though. As a Swede, surströmming. As a human being, surströmming. Chitlins. Seriously, its intestines sorta cleaned and cooked. That's it. My grandmother would make my granddad cook chitlins in the little shed outhouse where his tools were. No way was she allowing that smell inside. I'll never forget a Jeffrey Dahmer documentary I watched where they interviewed one of his neighbors. A black woman was talking about the terrible smell coming from his apartment while he was cooking human flesh, and she goes, "I just thought he was cooking chitlins or something." Ever hear of hot lettuce? The shoot smells like a tire fire. I have the soap gene for cilantro, so I had my fiancé try a bit raw to tell me what it tasted like. Does it really just taste like grass for people without my curse? I have the soap gene for cilantro, so I had my fiancé try a bit raw to tell me what it tasted like. Does it really just taste like grass for people without my curse? No, cilantro does not taste like grass if you don't have the genes that make it taste soapy. Cilantro is parsley's sassier cousin. Gefilte fish. I refuse to believe anyone under the age of 80 enjoys this food. It's not normal. Wrong. My mom is 72 years young and loves it. Roommate in collage would eat cereal with water in between paychecks, then just quit buying milk. Why not just eat it dry? My wife would mix non-dairy creamer with water and use it for milk when we first got married. I mean, I guess it's not that much worse than fat-free milk, but dang. We weren't that poor. Chitterlings. The end. Shooterlings. Anything I cook bake. Limburger cheese, it smells and tastes like sweaty feet. Thanks for all the comments, upvotes, and awards everyone. My great-grandfather used to eat sandwiches made of Limburger cheese and mustard-soaked sardines. Everybody gonna say oysters, and even though I love oysters I get what they mean. They're the texture of a thick loogie. They taste like salt water and algae that's marinated an old piece of discarded bubble gum. But I love them. I love them so much. I love them with horseradish, lemon juice and hot sauces. They're mostly just a vector for those flavors I guess. But I'd never really argue with a person who hates on them. They're objectively correct. I've just eaten so many things at this point, whacked off my taste buds so much, made them numb with fire and acid, that I've evolved to some twisted realm of flavor where culinary Cenobites make me genuinely enjoy some clearly disgusting meal. Durian. The smell of some durian tea from an ex-coworker led to everyone in my then office thinking there was a gas leak. I love durian, but that shoot does not belong in the workplace in any form period. You can wait till you get home to consume your rotten-ass gasoline fruit. Raw eggs. There's bound to be a better way to cure a hangover. There is. Literally anything else. Like cooked eggs. Like fricking water. My dick is very sensitive. Popcorn with ketchup. I don't even want to talk about it. Who does this? Yeah, what the frick? This is the opposite. But I'd just like to say. Not Brussels sprouts. Growing up on TV made me think Brussels sprouts was the most horrible thing to exist, but I finally tried them. And they are actually so delicious. I grew up with them boiled to death. I thought they were disgusting until I learned that I could roast them. Now they're one of my favorite vegetables. Ballot. I spent quite some time in the Philippines and I never saw one person actively enjoying the food but eating it because cheap and easy to get. I lived there for a few years. I saw plenty of people enjoying it. And some people apologized for serving me regular chicken eggs when I was their guest and absolutely believed I was just being polite when I told them that was my preference. Tried it twice. It's a cross between chicken soup and a hard-boiled egg, with the partially formed cartilage of a baby duck to chew on for 20 minutes or so. I don't recommend it. Snails. Had them. Nothing thrilling, it's all about the butter and garlic oil. Fermented soybeans natto. I used to share a dorm with some bro types when I was studying abroad in Japan. It was their favorite pastime to eat a bunch of natto, come into the crowded computer room, fart massively, and then block the exits. Wow, so many people hate everything I love lumao. Fondant. This. Plus, the basic rule is that fondant is used on cakes in lieu of tastier icings, like buttercream, because fondant's main purpose is the decoration. But any cake that's strong enough to hold all of your fondant decoration without falling apart is a cake that's not concerned about being delicious. Most majorly fondant decorated cakes that I've ever had are dry, dense, and lacking in flavor. As far as I'm concerned, if we're supposed to eat your cake, it needs to be delicious. I don't care if it looks like a rocket ship. Liver pudding, yes, it is a real thing. Caviar. I'd like some salt paste please for $100 a scoop. Grape nuts. If I wanted the texture and no flavor I would go outside and chew on gravel. I have never met a person who likes grape nuts. I remember my first bowl of grape nuts as a kid. I dumped a spoonful in my mouth and I remember not even wanting to chew. Just sitting there, mouth agape, my eyes both pleading for help and full of regret. I love grape nuts. Especially once they've had a minute to soak up the milk and with some fresh fruit floating on top. This thread makes me feel 30% understood and 70% completely angry that people don't like avocado.